Hello, Omar. How you doing?
All right, mate. Yeah, not too bad. It's because it's invisible, it's not offline.
Oh, I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Skype won't let me give you a call because of you being invisible. It won't let me pester you. So there you
I see.
go.
All right. Well, there you go. We're back on then.
Well,
So,
we're all good. Yeah, yeah, brilliant. I'm sorry you were kept waiting there. I was just watching your ID to come online and it didn't. So never mind. Not to
I
worry.
see. No
That's all
problem. Yeah.
good.
Cool.
So, well, I guess the best place to start then was what a weekend you had last weekend. Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic. Jazz Cafe, sell out both nights. It
Yeah.
was rammed. Loved it.
Yeah. Nice reception. It's always nice to do jazz cafe because I've been playing it for about 20 odd years now.
Yeah.
So it's always good to come back. It's like coming out.
Yeah, yeah, definitely like coming up, and you were very at home up on that stage. You know, that's your crowd, isn't it? So
That's right. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, it was
But
just wonderful, wonderful to watch and be part of that, and to meet you after was fabulous too. So
nice
thank,
one.
thanks for that.
No problem.
Absolutely great. So I was going to sort of ask you some questions back in time, if that's okay. Starting off with how it all came together for you, how you
No.
sort of went from being Omar to Omar in music.
Well, it's quite a long story. In terms of, I started when I was about 8 years old, learning the cornet, and then went on to the piano, guitar, baritone, tuba. I did Saturday morning music school in Maidstone, and then went from there to the Cheetham School of Music,
Wow,
boarding school up in Manchester, and then finally ended up in at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama. I was writing my own songs from about the age of 14, 15. I got my first record released when I was 16 on my dad's Congo dance label.
wow,
And yeah, from the age of about 16 to 18, that's when I sort of started to say, well, this is what I'm gonna do for a living now. You know what I mean? Because it was like the writing was on the wall. That's what I was gonna make my name at.
wonderful.
Basically. So yeah, it was all good.
Ah, that's brilliant. And of course, so it was your dad's record label first off, then.
Well, yeah, it was. He started it out in the '70s for his band Jah Lion. So it was a reggae group,
Mm.
and then a little later on, it was my brother's group called Burning Bush, which was just all kids. And then I came along a little later after that and did like the first soul music for the label.
Wonderful. Great to have that support as well. I mean, that's vital in this industry from a young age, isn't it? So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
really good. Absolutely. Yeah. So who were you listening to sort of in your teens? Who were the people you like to listen to, Omar?
Well, a group of people would have been Jeff Lorber,
Mm.
Stevie Wonder, and Level 42. They were like the main people that I listened to. I mean, obviously, I was listening to a bit of John Holt, Bob Marley, and reggae crooners and singers like that. But the main bulk of the people that I was listening to were the funk jazz fraternity.
Yeah.
So Spyro Gyra and people like Jaco Pastorius playing the bass and that kind of movement. But the people that I stuck to most closely were Level 42 and Jeff Robert and Stevie.
Wonderful, and what an A list as well. That's brilliant, absolutely fabulous. And so, sort of moving on in time, how did you sort of go from there to becoming the international Omar that we know now?
Well, it was just a case of I've always been a bit of a show off, so I always wanted to like perform in front of people, and doing the classical music thing kind of helps you do that. But as a percussionist, which is what I majored in, you're always at the back. So I always decided I wanted to like be at the front and be noticed one day. And playing with the youth orchestra, we toured places like Italy, Brazil, States. And there was one day in Brazil, we did a TV show, which was all the whole orchestra and a whole big choir as well. So it was quite almost 200 people on the stage.
Nice.
But it wasn't until the next day I was doing another show. And backstage, somebody came and handed me a Milton Nascimento record, and he said,
Wonderful.
this is for you. I saw you on TV yesterday, and I thought you were the best. And from then, I just sort of thought, well, that's got to mean something, really, you know. I played the festival hall several times in the orchestra, and then I made up my mind that I wanted to be at the front, you know, and do my own shows there one day. And I've since played there twice now, so you know, it really does mean that if you think about something, if you've got a dream to do something, then you know it's always possible.
Yeah, well, and you certainly did. I mean, you're forever doing gigs all around the world, really, aren't you? I mean, you've just come back from Ibiza. Was it Ibiza you went to? Yeah,
Ibiza, yeah, and was in Croatia just before that, Montenegro before that, and going to South Africa in a month as well. So yeah, it does get you places.
Wonderful. And are you performing sort of similar to how you did at the Jazz Cafe in South Africa, or is that something different there?
It'd be very similar because it's the old and it's old and the new. Because a lot of people come for the back catalogue, you know, and they know a lot of the music, and it's always good to introduce them to the new stuff as well. So yeah, be a proper mixture.
Yeah, well, I mean, you did a great mixture there last weekend at the Jazz Cafe, you know, going right the way back to There's Nothing Like This. And, you know, we thoroughly enjoyed it. And looking at the audience, I mean, you know, they absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, it was great. Wonderful sister there on stage and your brother too. So Scratch Professor, it was nice to see those on stage with you. Great band. Loved it. It's fabulous.
Nice. And my cousin was playing keys as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember you saying when we spoke before.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Absolutely brilliant. So sort of coming forward in time, I mean, you had the Giles Peterson Lifetime Achievement Award. That was this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Worldwide Music Awards in Coco's in London, yeah.
Yeah, so I bet that felt pretty good, and that was kind of nice for you. I mean,
absolutely. You know, it's been quite a fantastic last couple of years, really. You know, in terms of the MBE, the new music coming out, getting those awards as well. I feel there's a new lease of life on what I'm doing right now. So I got struck by the iron's hot.
Well, this is it. I mean, it was quite a run from the MBE. I was going to ask you about that. And did you drop that copy of the album for Prince Charles?
Yeah, I did actually. I got a letter back from his personal secretary thanking me for sending it to him as well. You know, he'll get to listen to it when he gets a chance. I'm sure he gets thousands of CDs all the time. So if he gets a chance to listen to it, you never know. Maybe he'll get down to talking to the plants while he's listening to the music as well.
Sounds good. Absolutely fabulous. And on your Skype picture there, I see the picture of you standing on the steps holding your MBE. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Looking absolutely good. And then, you know, the album release at the same time, and that's been fantastically received worldwide now. And, you know, like you say, strike while the iron's hot. And
yeah, absolutely. I can feel, you know, it's been a very busy time right now, and that's always a good thing, because there's certain times in the year we could there might not be a lot happening, but I haven't really stopped in the last 2 years, so it's good.
Yeah, I mean, we had people down at the Love Supreme Festival this year from the station, and they said you absolutely smashed it down there.
Mm-hmm. That was fun. But people, not everybody could fit in the tent as well, so hopefully they'll give us a slightly bigger stage next time.
Yeah, they said about you having your young ones on stage. They thought that was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of them that they just like to perform. You know, so I think it's in the blood, definitely.
It definitely would be, wouldn't it? That's really great. And well, this morning I played the Ding Ding tune from you, the Halix M and DJ Fudge mix with you singing on it.
Yeah,
fantastic tune. Absolutely
nice.
Loved that. Can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind that took you to?
Basically, I went to Hong Kong for the first time in 2012, and I was booked by Halix and Fudge for a set at the Armani Privé, which is like a rooftop club. And I just did a DJ set there. But the stuff that they were playing at the time as well, I just kind of liked the vibe. That, you know, you could see how the people were reacting to it as well. And after doing the tune I did with Zed Bias, which is that dancing house type thing, I can do a bit more of this. And yeah, they came to my hotel and they were playing me stuff, and I was like, right, I like that one, I like that beat, and I basically waited until I got home. I picked a couple of good grooves, and one was Simpatico, and the other one was Ding Ding as well, just simple as that. And yeah, now here we are, and they're released.
Yeah, and it went down extremely well amongst our listeners, I have to say.
Yeah,
brilliant. And the other one that's outside of the album, which is going down great at the moment, is the one with Positive Flow. My prediction that seems to be really flowing, really on the positive flow, if you know what I mean.
Positive Flow is Jesse Wilson, who's my old schoolmate. We used to go to school together in Canterbury, and we just kind of kept in contact. Well, we lost contact for a bit, and then now, we just kind of got back in contact about 3-4 years ago. And he was like, "I've got some stuff for it to sing on." And I was like, "Yeah, no problem." And my prediction was one of them, and it seems to be well received. He's really got a certain style. My thing was always like organic jazz funk things, because we always used to be comparing each other's, like who we were listening to. I'll be playing him Level 42, Jeff Lorber. He'd be playing me like Scritti Politti and Human League, and that kind of more modernist type vibe, or Yellow Magic Orchestra. And but he's always had a really cool way of production, and he's easy to work with.
Wonderful. Yeah. I loved your quote there, the one that says, "Without your reassurance that I'm doing something right, I'd just be some nutter making up beats and grooves in his mum's basement."
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, that's it. That really is kind of the part of the whole thing. I mean, when I make my music, I'm expressing myself, but it's also just that, when I walk and I'm out every day, somebody comes up to me and says, "I love what I'm doing, keep doing what I'm doing." That's enough for my ego to keep it going. Do you know what I mean? Basically, that's just the basic thing that I crave for.
That's wonderful, and the music just flows from you. You are. You're a very dynamic performer on stage, and it's all very entertaining alongside the music as well. Nice. and I think that really works when with the live audience and so on. It's fabulous to watch. And one thing I was going to ask you, and that is that I wondered if you remembered your first ever public performance, even if you were very little, if you can remember what it was.
My very first ever would have been, I used to play drums for my stepdad's band. This is back in the 70s at the Kent University. I think he had a bunch of mates play guitar and stuff and bass, and they did like blues, just like blues covers and rock and roll covers and stuff like that. It was my first sort of like playing for somebody else. And I remember somebody came up to me afterwards. This woman came up to me and asked me for my autograph because she was convinced I'd be famous one day.
Wonderful.
So that was probably the first time I actually made an attempt at making an autograph. It'd be funny if she still had it, if she was still around. I wouldn't mind seeing what that looked like. But,
I bet it's still around, I would imagine.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. Oh dear, that's great. Love it. So basically, so where's it going now? What are you looking at going forward? Any more releases or?
Yeah, right now I'm working on album number 8 with my brother Scratch Professor. This is an album that's kind of like our first attempt at doing the majority together. Normally it's me working on everything myself and then bringing other people in. But this time we're kind of focusing on it as a more of a collaboration, sort of down the middle. I mean, I'll still work with other people, but this one is going to be a bit more in the terms of his production.
Yes,
which I've always loved, and it's very it just fits with what I do. It's just a bit more of a modern style compared to the rare groove things that I've been doing of late. So there's that album. There's also a productions album that I've been compiling all the best productions I've done over the 30 years I've been making music, and it's coming up with some really interesting reading and listening. Sorry, So there's that, those two things there. I'm still continuing with my acting. I've got a one-man play that was written by a guy called Che Walker. It's basically a 50-minute monologue with my songs intertwined. We did 3 nights at the Shepherd's Bush Empire. I've done it up in Manchester, Corn Exchange, Sheffield Crucible, at the Old Rich in Deptford. I've done it abroad in Denmark. So, you know, this thing's got life as well. I've just been getting my show reel together.
Yeah.
Because I got signed to United Agents a little while back. Also, I just learned that there's a new comedy sketch show with Javon Prince, who was in Phone Shop, and we did the pilot with him, and it was my band and everything, you know, doing a live show. This has got that American format, American TV show format. So you should be seeing me more on TV next year. Also, another show called Pro 2 Stars, where I'm the mentor to a protege talent show, and we take them to the steps of how to make a song, and you know, arrangements, production, you know, everything to do with music. So it's it's getting quite busy.
Wow, I was going to say extremely busy, and no, that's brilliant to hear.
And on top of that, you know, there's also the live shows. So yeah, very busy.
I think that's absolutely fabulous, Omar. And you know, you're a great inspiration for many up and coming people around the world. But a question I wanted to ask you was, who inspires you? It doesn't have to be musical, but who inspires you?
Well, it's going back to what you said. What I said before. You know, it's you know, the love of the people getting down to my music is a big boost for me to keep doing it. You know what I mean? Because then at least there's something proves to me that I'm doing something right. You know, when I hear about people rewinding certain tracks that I've done 4 or 5 times in a dance, you know, that thing that's very inspirational. And you know, just for people to tell me that they love the music, that's very inspirational too. In terms of making the music, my brother is very, very helpful. Like, you know, when I'm sitting there and I'm sort of like losing interest in something, he goes, no, he'll spur me on to do, you know, keep doing it as well. So, it's all around me, basically.
Wonderful. That's absolutely brilliant. And then sort of, so live gigs after South Africa, where are you off to after that?
Well, we're looking to go back to the States. I've been in the States for 5 years now. It's been a while.
Yeah.
We're trying to, I think it's like 20, 25 dates they're working out now.
Wow.
In the States as well. Yeah, it's quite a big market for me. I just through certain issues, I haven't been back there for a while, but hopefully next year I'll be there, you know. And also Japan, you know, I did a lot of the Far East. I was in you know, Bali, Hong Kong, the Philippines, and you know, and Australia. Australia was really cool a couple of years ago. So it's just to get out there and you know, see the people and keep it moving, really.
Yeah, I mean, you have a great international appeal. You know, you appeal to audiences all over the world. What do you think sort of makes that happen for you?
I think my music travels well. You know, it's kind of like raceless, classless. I don't know. It's one of them things where if you appreciate good music, then you can appreciate my music. Basically, you know, people that listen to my music are very discerning of what kind of stuff they listen to. They don't just listen to anything. And is, you know, that kind of person is worldwide. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what country you're from. I've seen blogs and stuff where people put my music up, and people just thanking the person putting my music up there for doing that because they can't get it anywhere else. And that's that means so much to me, you know. And these are the places I've never been, you know, China, Korea, you know, Venezuela, Mexico. Wow. You know, wherever you want to name it. There's lots of places I haven't been, but there's fans there, you know. So that's really cool.
I think that's fabulous, and yeah, your music travels extremely well. It's it's kind of its own genre in many ways. I mean, it is the soul, it is the R&B and the feel and the jazz funk that we know, but it's also very Omar, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the first things that my intention was to create a sound that as soon as anybody heard it, then they knew it was me. Just as simple as that. And I think I've managed to achieve that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. And and that's how it travels and is appreciated by so many people from so many different cultures, ways of life. It's travels well, like you say. Yeah. So I guess the last thing really is, Omar, if there's anything you'd like to sort of tell your fans and listeners on our station, and they're numerous, then please feel free to do so.
Well, I'm just, I want to thank everybody for the support thus far. It's been 30 years now since my first single. So I'm looking forward to the next 30 as well. Don't forget to look on my Twitter, which is Omar Lye-Fook, MBE, and my Facebook page, which is official Omar Official UK. For updates in terms of what I'm doing, where I've been, where I'm going. And also the website, which is omarmusic.co.uk, and they'll know what's happening.
Yeah. To keep in touch with the site is the best way forward with that.
That's right.
Wonderful. Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, great stuff. So, what's the sort of? Is there an end goal, Omar, or is it just that you just want to keep doing the things you do the way you do it and see where that goes?
There's no beginning goal or end goal. You know what I mean? It's just it's all about vibes and what influences me to do what I do. I've still got that influence within me, so you will always be hearing something new all the time. I'm just trying to cut down the time between the albums. It was 7 years in between the last one and the one before that. So I'm going to try and knock it down to about 2 or 3. But you'll still get the quality music.
Well, this is it. And people perhaps don't realise quite how much work goes into putting an album together, and it takes time, it takes trouble, and to produce the quality that you do, you have to pay attention to the detail.
That's right.
Yeah. So, we're seriously looking forward to the next one, that's for sure. And, I would urge any of our listeners that have never seen you live, they need to go do that, because that has a whole different vibe somewhere above where the albums are in itself.
That's it. Yeah, cool.
Absolutely brilliant. So, just thank you very much for your time, and it's been a real pleasure talking to you, and hopefully we can get to talk somewhere around your new album release.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Gloss. Nice one, mate. Thanks for the support as well. And
absolutely.
Take it easy.
Yeah, you take it easy too. Thanks very much, Omar, and we'll speak soon. That's fantastic. Thank you.
All right, mate. Take it easy.
Have a wonderful day. Cheers.
All right, you too. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.